Please welcome this week's special guest, Hannah. So, Stephen, first of all, please, what is Hannah to you?
Yes, this is Hannah. We used to bamboozle our miserable neighbour by adding an item of clothing to his washing line after he pegged his laundry out.
Izzy, how do you know Hannah?
This is Hannah. In order to impress a boy, we once competed to see who could eat the most ants.
And finally, David, your relationship with Hannah.
This is Hannah. Last year she bought a pub and named it the Mitchell and Glove. And I gave her my blessing to use my face on the pub sign.
Please, team, where to begin?
Why is it the Mitchell and... What does the glove come into this?
I think it was originally called the Boxers.
As in the dog or the fighters?
As in the gloved fighters.
Well, it's an obvious progression, isn't it?
Yeah.
Boxing, David Mitchell.
I think she was very keen to change the image of the pub.
And do you know why Hannah chose you?
I think she, if you can believe it, she's a fan of my work.
Right, OK, so she's a fan.
It's a lie. Move on. Have you been to the Mitchell and Glove?
No.
Where is this pub, David? Which part of the country?
It's in Swansea.
What? Swansea?
Because I don't believe David. I can imagine his mind going, I've got to think of something quick. And even then he's thinking of middle-class things. Swansea. I'll say... Is it themed inside?
I'd be very hurt if I'm not on all the menus.
It's a gastropub, is it?
Not in Swansea, no.
I believe what it is a flat-roofed pub. One of the reasons I think it's named after me is that I wrote in my book that I had a theory that flat-roofed pubs are always bad. So basically, you'll never get nice food in a flat-roofed pub. You might get eaten by a dog. And Hannah said, this is going to be a nice flat-roof pub that does nice food.
All right.
By which I don't mean a carvery.
You don't like carveries?
No.
What about Steve and Mangan's? What was yours again, Steve?
We used to befuddle, well, annoy our miserable neighbour by putting items of clothing on his washing line after he'd pegged his laundry out.
Yeah. And where was this?
Crouch End.
And when was it?
Oh, 15 years ago, probably.
And what's your relationship with Hannah?
Yeah.
Hannah is my mate James's younger sister.
But was she living with you?
She was the three of us in the house, yeah.
What kind of thing did you used to put on there? I mean, just shirts? Or...
Well, it started one day. He came round and complained, and we were sitting up in her bedroom, looking out the window, and he put his washing out, and I said, I'm going to go and put a sock on his washing line. He liked everything to be very precise, and what he'd do is he'd come in, and when he'd take the washing off, we'd watch him every day, he'd fold it, he'd put all the socks together and put them in the washing, you know, rather than just chucking it all in and then doing it in the house.
Sorry, the person next to you is thinking, what's wrong with that?
So we put a blue sock on, went up, and then he came out and he put all his washing away hours later, and he was like... And it was just very fun. We just found it. I mean, it doesn't sound funny now.
In total,
we found it hilarious.
In total, how much did you put on?
Well, it went on for about 6 months.
I know
We'd go to charity shops and buy stuff to put on his washing line.
I know Gok's going to ask it, so I'll ask it for him. On a Sunday, did you lay out the clothes?
Izzy, you're saying then with Hannah, you both went out together, pulling, and to attract some guys, you ate ants.
We weren't out, we were at school.
How old were you?
About 15 or 16.
Right.
Would you mind standing next to Hannah just so I can work out the visual to see whether you look like you should be at school together?
Yeah. Taking my shoes off.
I think you're mixing up age and height. They're completely different things.
Trust me, I'm a stylist.
Oh, here we go.
Before you know it, they'll be naked.
OK, similar age. It could work.
So you were at school?
Yeah.
Right, and what, there's a boy there that you like?
Yeah, and he was called Paul Brooks.
Paul Brooks, OK, and you thought the best way to impress Paul is to eat some ants.
It was during a school production, so we were dressed... we were in Greece, Grease the musical.
Oh, right.
I thought you said we were in Greece, and you know the economy's like this. It's all we can eat. The ants. How many did you eat in total?
I ate about 24.
No way. 24?
Yeah.
How many did Hannah eat?
About 23.
Ah, loser. And that's why you got Paul Brooks.
And did you get Paul Brooks?
No, he just stood there the whole time, and then I
thought
felt
she's
sick.
stupid and walked
Yeah.
off.
He
walked
just sat
off-
there chewing on his cockroach going, this is so accident. And what made you stop at 24 then? I mean, surely you could tell by his eyes after 2 or 3 that this wasn't working.
We just carried on, and then the interval was over, and we had to go and do the second half of Greece.
This
in
was
the
during
interval.
the show?
Yeah.
During the show, you
Tell me
ate
more,
out-
tell me more. Well, we need an answer here. So, Lee's team. Is Hannah Stephen's washing line prankster? Is his fellow anteater? Or David's pub landlady? What do you think?
We can rule out the strange theme pub.
Oh,
I think.
thanks.
Well, you know, I'm sorry.
What is it about my face
Oh, no,
smiling
no.
politely next to a boxing glove
No,
that makes
no.
you think people won't want to get drunk?
I think it's Stephen. I think Stephen's telling the truth.
You think Stephen's telling the truth? Charles?
I think he probably is,
Do
actually.
you think it's Stephen?
Yeah.
I think it's Izzy, but I will go with the majority.
Well-
Then I've got someone to blame.
OK, so, Hannah, would you please reveal your true identity?
My name is Hannah, and in order to impress a boy, Izzy and I once competed to see who can eat the most ants.
Thank you very much, Hannah.